Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Stephanie and this is my channel that's all about cross stitch. So this is my first Flosstube of 2026 and today is January the 10th, 2026. So if you are new here then welcome. I do stitch a mixture of full coverage and non-full coverage. And if you're a returning viewer then thank you for coming over to spend some time with me today. So it's been about 2 weeks since my, well it might be a bit longer actually, 2 or so weeks since my last update. I did do my big WIP parade which you may have seen, but this is my first like WIP progress video for the year. So the first sort of 10 days of the year I was originally going to spin a wheel, and then I decided to start and restart all the things, as you've probably already seen from the title of this video. So there's a lot of new starts slash restarts for the last couple of weeks. So I have stitched around 8,000 stitches already. I say around because there's one project that's a paper pattern, but yeah, that's a lot of stitches. So most of this is going to be new starts, so I'm just going to get into the WIPs, and this is pretty much the order that I worked them in. So I will pop up a picture. The ones that were in the WIP parade, I will pop up the picture of where they were during that, and all of the names, artists, all that kind of thing will be in the description, even though I will try to remember to say them all as I go. So first one today is All Seasons Flower Shop, artwork by Lars, Stewart and charted by Haed. So I started this one along with Dawn over at Busy Mom Stitcher. So I'm doing this one on 18 count 1/1 full cross with CXC, and I currently have 1010 stitches. So I don't think I have a picture of this one actually to show you. So that is 1010 stitches out of 325,350 stitches, and it's at 0.31%. So I am doing that full cross. So just in the top left hand corner, and because it is on an 18 count, the fabric is huge. So that is just half of it. And obviously it does fold out again, so it's going to be a really big blanket when it's done, but I do prefer 18 counts, so I would rather stitch that and enjoy it. So yeah, so that is my stitches on that one. And then the next one is another big one. I decided I wanted to start all the big things this time around. So this one is called Eternal Love, and it's by Boogie Stitcher. So that is a big chart, so I think it's 600 by 600. So this one I'm doing on a 22 count, and I'm actually now doing this as a 2-strand tent, because I played around with that and I think that's got a little bit better coverage than the 1/1 full cross. So top right hand corner for this one. So there's not a lot to see just yet, it's just that. So at the moment with that one I have 1025 stitches out of 360,000, and that is 0.28% complete. So yeah, the first little section, first like couple of blocks, then I did do full cross, and then I've switched it to 10, and I don't think you can actually see any difference in it. So yeah, so that one I'm going to be working as a tent one now. Another big one. I did have a crazy plan to start 6 big ones just before the end of 2025, and I managed to get 3, so that's still good. That's why I have like these huge ones at the beginning of the WIPs. So this one is called Castle Cutaway. This is the large version. There is an extra large version which I think is equivalent to a Haed super size. It's like 900 and something stitches across. So I just decided to go for the large version. So the artwork is by Steve Crisp, and this one is charted by Artecy. So I didn't get as many stitches on this one. I started all of these 3 at the same time. So this one is on an 18 count 1 over 1 full cross. So I only managed 500 stitches. So that is 500 stitches out of 301,600, and I'm at 0.17%. Now the reason it only got 500 is because, as you can probably tell, that is a lot of confetti in that tree. So yeah, I did 500 and didn't end up doing any more on this time around. So that's that. So I'm just going to get a drink and then we'll carry on. So my next one is the Haed 2026 style. So my one that I'm stitching is the Mirror of Venus. So this is artwork by Walter Crane and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So I'm doing this on 18 count 1 over 1 full cross. I did start it when they released it to us, so I did start it the end of December. I haven't got a lot of stitches in it yet because of the fact that I've been starting all these things. So at the moment I am at 1,050 stitches, and that is the top left hand corner. So that is out of 89,100, and I'm currently at 1.18%. So I was going, as you can see, I was filling in the blocks, and then I realised that there's like 1 or 2 colours that make up the majority of it, so I'm trying a little bit of a kind of fill all one colour just along one of the rows, so like fill all that one in. As you can see, I've done it there, and I just thought that might make it easier because most of like all that white in that section there is just one colour to fill back in. So yeah, that'll probably make it go faster now I've realised that. So yeah, so I'm pulling this out most days. I'm going to be working on this again later. So I don't really have any goals now for that one. But I just want to keep working on it because obviously that's what I signed up for. So yeah. So the next one is my paper pattern. So this one doesn't have any stats on it. So this is kind of a focus piece now because I really want to get this done by May. So this is my oldest WIP. So this is Dimensions Gold, Gracious Eras by Maley. So this one is the Dimensions kit, so it's on a 14 count, like a blue Eder. So I should have a picture from the WIP parade to share. There's not going to be very much difference on it because all I've worked on is sky. I'm really trying to get the sky filled in, so I'll pop up where I was on that, and that's what it looks like now. So as I said, because I've only worked in the sky, I will fold that over just to make it a bit easier to show. So yeah, so it's mostly all of that, and I think it might be a bit of that, but you'll obviously have the comparison to see. So I'm really bored of the sky and I want to go to something else, but I also know that once I finish the sky I will enjoy the rest easier, and also once I've done the sky then I can start to do more of the back stitch, because so far I've only done a tiny little bit here, and obviously all of these branches that you can see, they all need to have back stitch on them to go with that. So yeah, so as soon as that sky is done, which is a mixture of lots of different things, so once that's done I will be able to then get to like the horses and all of that kind of stuff. The reason that I have May as my goal for this one to be complete is because I started it in May 2021, so if I could finish it in May then I would have been working on it for 5 years, so I think that's a good you know, round figure to end it as. So that's the hope anyway. So I am pulling that out nearly every day for a little bit of time. So we will see what happens with that one. Right then, so my next one is Mini Christmas Mailbox. The first few days of the January I did spin the wheel, and this was literally the first one that came up, excuse me. This was the first one that came up, so we just got out Christmas, and then the wheel decided I need to stitch more Christmas. So this one is, yeah, so Mini Christmas Mailbox. Artwork is by Kayomi, Harai, and it's charted by Artecy. So I'm working this one on a 14 count red Eder, which is a little bit different, just because I had the Eder and I wasn't using it for anything. So I put in on this one, since the last time I showed it, I've put in 515 stitches on it. I am trying now for this year to keep a note of how many stitches I'm stitching, you know, to the in between the videos basically, so that I can kind of give you a quick amount of what I've actually stitched. So yeah, so I've done 515, so that takes the total up to 1,515 out of 23,400, and it's at 6.47%. So I will actually show the project, not just talk about it. So I don't really have a system for how I'm stitching this one, as you can probably already tell. So yeah, so I've come up to there, but there's not much to see, so I will just fold that over. So yeah, I've just basically, I mean, it's sort of a diagonal, I guess, but I'm trying to like go across, come down, just filling it in, and yeah, seeing what happens. So it is, if I didn't already say that, is a 2/1 full cross. So all of the projects, apart from the Dimensions kit, all the projects are CXC. So yeah, I mean, the coverage is really good. There is a little bit of red, you know, softly peeking through some of it, but I don't mind that because it's kind of festive, so it works. So yeah, I think the cat probably starts like around here, so I've still got quite a bit of like sky and stuff like background and stuff to do. But yeah, so that's where I am on that one now. So as I just said, I do all my projects with CXC. This next one doesn't have CXC. This does have just like unbranded, a mixture of it's just a bit of a mixture of everything I had at the beginning, because this is like one of my older ones now as well. So this one is Dragon and His Books. It's a pattern by Pink Lily Patterns over on Etsy. And this one I started in 2024, so yeah, this is one of my older ones. So this one's kind of been worked everywhere, so it's a really tough one to try and show on camera, so just bear with me for this one. So it's on a 16 count, 2/1 full cross, and as I said, this is a mixture of different threads. So that is the whole thing so far. So since my WIP parade, I've put in 500 stitches, and I will bring that in a moment. So I'm not even holding it up the right way. Oh dear. Right, try again. There we go. That's better. That looks a bit better. So yeah, so I put 500 stitches in on that one, and I have worked mostly in this section here, so he does have a bit more of his eye, so I will bring that in, and that is a full cross. I think I said that. Obviously I do have hanging threads, so yeah, so I've just basically started to try and shape some of this face, and I think I've filled in a few little bits there, but yeah, I mostly have where his eye is now. So yeah, so that is the right way up. So that's that. Still a long way to go. So try and hold this up a little better. Like I said, it's always a tough one to show where to wrangle. So that one at the moment now is 15,500 stitches, and that is out of 84,008, and I'm currently at 18.45%. So not too long to get to 20%, I think. So yeah, so I'm gonna just keep working probably on his face. I will bring that in. It's not that easy to see, but I am also trying to work a little bit on the background at the same time, because that's quite blocky stitching, so I'm trying to get a little bit of that going at the same time as well. So that's that one. But yeah, it's such a hard one to show, that one, because it's really awkward. And then the next one is a new start, and this one I've never actually noticed it before until recently. So Stitch is So Beautiful has had a sale. They extended their sale to I think it was the 1st of January, and I had some Christmas money to spend, so I got a couple of new patterns. So this one, I was looking through all of what they had, and I came across this one. I think it has been out for a while, but I'd never actually noticed it before for some reason. And I thought that this would be really good because I have a lot of, when I cut my fabric into, because a lot of my projects tend to be like a square one, so I cut my fabric and I'm left with these big long strips and I never know what to do with them. And I measured this before I got it because it's a few different sizes I could have had, and I worked out that the small one would actually fit really well on this, so I got it and started it. So this one is called Mabel, and it's the small version. So it's by Grumpy French, and as I said, it's charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. So this one I am working on a 22 count. At the moment it's a 1/1 full cross, but I might end up switching this to the 10th. So as you can see, these are like the pieces that I'm left with. But it comes to about here, the width of it, so it's going to be perfect. So that is what I've done so far. So that is 600 stitches. So 600 out of 30,000, and it's already at 2%. So yeah, I got a nice little milestone there with the 2%. So I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but yeah, that is full cross so far. So we'll see if that one, because I don't want to switch to tent to all of them in case I don't end up liking tent down the line, which tends to happen with me. So I do want to keep some full cross, but yeah, so that's that's my piece. It's tiny. But I do have a few pieces like this, so it works quite well, so I'll be able to eventually get a couple more of those patterns and have like a little series of them, because I think there's another 2 that I like, that I would like to go with that one. So that's that one, and then we're pretty much, yeah, mostly now into restarts. So new starts, but restarts. So this one is Quick Stitch Daffodil Springs, artwork by Lynn and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this one originally on, actually I think I still have it on the fabric. Yeah, it's the same fabric, I just flipped it over. So I started this one, so it's 16 count. I started it on as a 2/1 tent stitch, and I didn't really like it. So I flipped it over and I've restarted it as a 2/1 full cross. So I only have 350 stitches on this one, and I'm finding it really bulky. Now this one, normally my fabric tends to just be like a cheap unbranded one. This one is actually a Zweigart one because I bought it and it was, I bought it in a charity shop and it was, packaged. So I don't know if it is actually the fabric perhaps on this, or it's because I'm using CXC, but yeah, I'm finding it very chunky. So that is my stitches so far. So as I said, that's 350 in the top left corner. I don't know if you'll actually be able to see how thick it is, but it's it's a little bit of a struggle. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put in probably up to 600, so another 100, 200 stitches, and if I still feel like it's very tight and chunky, then I will pop it away, and then probably end up restarting it in 2027, because this is my second restart. I don't mind starting something twice, but I don't really want to be starting things 3 times close together. So yeah, so unfortunately if this doesn't work, this pattern will pop away and come out another time. But I have stitched on that, so I am adding it. But yeah, I don't know about this one. Out of all of the projects I've started, this is the only one. As I said, I think that is probably the fabric, with, you know, combined with the CXC. So that might have to be one that I use as a totally different project. So we'll find out. And then my next one is a restart of my first Haed. So if you have obviously been watching my channel since the beginning or since last year, you may have already seen a few of these projects. So this one I started, I think it was February 25, so it's nearly a year later I'm restarting it. But yeah, I had a lot of issues when I first started my full coverages, which I think now I'm a little bit more used to them, so it's not too bad, and I start them a very different way than I used to. So this one is Mini Flower Girl. It's artwork by Sayetta, and it's charted by Haed. So this one is on 18 count 1/1 full cross, and I have 360 stitches on that so far. So that's the top left hand start. So it's 360 out of 105,625, and it's at 0.34%. So yeah, so I much prefer 1/1 for that one. And I'm pretty sure that I didn't add my stats for Daffodil Spring, so just in case I didn't, I will add it again. So that was 350 stitches out of 47,730, and it's at 0.74%. So yeah, so that was Mini Flower Girl. And then my next one, I did actually aim to not restart this one, and then being as I was restarting all the things, I just thought I may as well just restart, because I was very unsure and on the fence about this one anyway. So this one is Mini Boho Seaside View. I did show this on my latest WIP parade, and I did have 8,000 stitches into the original version of it. But because I'd stitched it in all different ways, I wasn't really happy and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I've decided just to restart it. So this is artwork by Aimee, Stewart, and charted by Haed. So for this one, I'm starting it now in the top right hand corner, and I'm going to try and keep it by page rather than going across, because on the other version of it I went across and I think I just got a bit messed up with it. So it's a very small start. Well, very small, it's kind of the same as the others. So it's got 350 stitches in it. So yeah, that's the top right hand corner. So 350 stitches out of 75,400, and it's at 0.47%. So this one is an 18 count, but it's a 1/1 full cross, which, as I've said, is my preferred way of doing all of these on 18 count. So yeah, so hopefully that will come together a lot neater, and I will you know, feel like I'm actually starting to see things, because the way that I'd done it before, I just felt like I wasn't seeing anything. So even though it was 8,000 stitches, it felt like I hadn't stitched like anything. So yeah, so I'm going to try and keep that a little bit more by the page and see how that progresses. So my next one is a really big one to to be restarting, because obviously I'd done a huge amount on this in 2025 on this pattern, and then it just all fell apart and I didn't like the fabric and all of that stuff. I didn't actually aim to restart this one this year, but because I was, you know, like I said, restarting everything, I thought I might as well just do them all and get them all started. So this one is Angelic, so it's artwork by Eder, Rosa, and charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. So originally I did this on an 18 count and the fabric just went really weird and I couldn't work with it. So for this time I'm actually doing it on a 22 count, just because I had more 22 count of the size I needed, rather than order more fabric. So yeah, so it's 22 count and I've started in the top left, so there's not going to be a lot to see for a little while because there is quite a lot of black stitches, 310 stitches on that page, so it's just a small start. So this is 22 count, but it's 1/1 full cross. I don't think this one will be getting changed to 10 because, as I mentioned, there's a lot of black and I know I had big issues with 10 originally, so I'm going to keep this one as a full cross. So I have 300 stitches, which, as I said, is not very much, but it is a starting point. So 300 out of 160,000, and it's at 0.19%. But hopefully, you know, I will enjoy the stitching part of this much more. And because I don't want to go across and do the same thing, I'm going to basically go, when I've done this first page, I'm going to go down. So I'm probably going to go down the pattern this time to get to the tiger, rather than go across, just because I have already, you know, stitched all that not that long ago. So yeah, so I'm going to stitch it a little bit different as well. So we're all seeing the same, we're all seeing something different and not all the same thing. So yeah, so lots of restarts, but now they're part of my WIPs and I can add them to my wheel, and then really want to get back to some of my other projects because I've really been, you know, missing working on a few of those ones. So I just have a couple more projects to share now. So this one is, it's not a restart, this is actually one that you've seen before. So this one is the one I use for my, or I am using, should I say. So this one is the one I'm using for my Facebook challenge for Stitch is So Beautiful. So this one, I used it in December and I did 500 stitches a week. So during the month I managed to get 2,000 stitches into it, so that was good. And then I have a rough aim to do the same thing, to get 2,000 for the month. So the first week I've got my second week of stitching to do later today. So my first week I got 600 stitches. So this one is Folk Art Christmas. It's by Tony Thomas Art and charted by Stitch is So Beautiful. Now this one unfortunately is a retired chart. It just retired at the end of the year, so it's not available anymore. So I will pop up a picture of where this one was before because I do have a comparison. So hopefully you're seeing the comparison as I'm showing this one. And as I said, I put another 600 stitches into this one. So this is currently at 2,600 stitches out of 126,000, and it's at 2.07%. So I had, the first month I only had black stitches, so this time I have added a little bit of extra colours in it. So what I'm probably going to do for my week 2 challenge, because this now has 2,600, I will probably do 400, and then the other 2 weeks I will do 500 for each week, so that this will end up then being 4,000 stitches. And this one is 18 count 1/1 full cross, if I didn't already say. So this won't be my challenge piece for February, if we have one in February, because I have a new pattern that I want to do, and it's a Valentine's themed one. So I will probably try and remember to pop in a couple of pictures at the end of like the haul I've got, because as I said, I had Christmas money and I bought a few patterns. So yeah, so then I have another restart. So this is the one I actually discovered. I preferred the 2 over 110 on 22 count. So obviously, so yeah, so it's a 22 count. And I decided, because I had a couple, as I've already shown, that were 1 over 1 full crosses, I thought, oh, I'll try this one 2 over 110 just to see if it's, you know, better coverage or if it's easier or whatever. And then well, you'll see from how many stitches I've got, like how far I went on it. So this one is a tree silhouette at dusk. This is a pattern that's charted by Artecy, and the image is from Pixabay. You can purchase this on the Artecy website, but it is one of the freebies in the Facebook group, so if you're not a member of that, I do recommend that, because there is so many lovely free charts that you can get just from being a member in there. So as I said, this is a 22 count tent. So as you've seen from most of my restarts, I've aimed to get around 300-ish stitches. It's just basically so I had like a starting point. So I was aiming for somewhere between 300 and 500, and this one came out, got started, and it now has 1010 stitches. So it is 1010 stitches out of 47,000, and I'm already at 2.15%, and that was in one night. So yeah, I mean, I know the 10 stitches, but so yeah, so that is what I currently have on that one. So yeah, so I think that's going to be quite a quick stitch for me, that one. I think I just shut the camera then, so sorry about that. And then this next one didn't get a lot of stitches. I only pulled this one out because I forgot to write it on my list of ones I wanted to carry on from like Christmas time. So yeah, so I only remembered about this one last night. So I've put 172 stitches into this one, but that's okay. So this is Mini Summer Nights. This is artwork by Lynn and charted by Haed. This is also a restart from a little while ago, and it's an 18 count one, and it's 1 over 1 full cross. So it's 18 count gridded Eder, this one. So as I said, I only put 172 stitches, so I think I can compare that to a tinier start, so there should be something right there. So yeah, so that's where I am now. So I've currently got 300 stitches total, so 300 stitches out of 79,300, and it's at 0.38%. So yeah. So that is all my stitching. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I got a few patterns with Christmas money. So it was the Mabel, which I shown as part of my WIPs, and I have 2 others. I don't have the names of them written down, so I will pop up the image, and then I'll put up the one where it says the name, because I haven't made a note because I wasn't planning to show them. So yeah, so as I'm talking, you will be seeing the images that of the patterns that I bought. So the one with the house and the like the love heart, that will be getting started as either my challenge piece for the February challenge, but if we don't have one, then I'll just start that anyway. So yeah, so I had a couple of patterns that I got, and I also had a Christmas present from my boyfriend, and he got me a surprise. I didn't know I was getting this, because he got me another book, which is a Cassandra Clare one, because I love Cassandra Clare. So I have that that one, and then he also got me this, which I didn't know I was getting, and this is Witchy Stitching by Meg Black, who is the Witchy Stitcher. So yeah, so this is a really great book, and I will show you a couple. Obviously, as you can see, I've made like bookmarked a few that I want to show that I really want to stitch. So it has so it's got 25 projects in it altogether, which obviously I probably will make all 25 eventually. So this one is called Back Coven. So I think that's really cute, which I know it's weird because it's like gothic, but so yeah, that is actually a fabric. It's classed as where is it? So it does say there it's linen, but I don't stitch on linen, so I will get something a little similar. I'll probably just use some kind of like vintage mocha or tea dyed or something. So yeah, so I do want to stitch that one, and then hopefully I've put these onto the right one so I don't show the patterns. So obviously this one is the one on the cover, but as you can see it's not made up of many colours, and it does have some like metallic silver as the back stitch, which I think would be really cool. So I'm kind of looking at some Eder, like printed Eder and different coloured Eder and things like that to work out which ones to get. And then obviously you do have Halloween ones. That one's really cute. And then this one, I love this one. So this is Happy Easterween. I just think that's really different, so I'm definitely going to try and start that one in the spring. And obviously that's nice and simple because it's black Eder, and I've got lots of black Eder that I don't get around to using. So, but yeah, you have got so many different designs. Obviously, like I said, I'm trying to be careful I don't show the pattern. So yeah, you've got this one, you've got this one. You have like one that's ordered in red, which is interesting as well. But yeah, so that's, if you want something different, like more kind of Halloween-y, then highly recommend that. The patterns are really, like I said, I can't show them, but they're really colourful and really clear, and all the information, you have information at the front about cross-stitching, so if you are someone who's like a bit more of a beginner, I think that's really useful. So yeah, so I love that, and I'm excited to get some of those started at some point. Right, so nearly done. I just wanted to also share my cross-stitching book. I don't know if any of you keep one. I'd love to know if you do, so please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. So I done this last year in just a regular no, I thought I might have had it nearby to show you, but I started in just a regular notebook, and this year I decided to get a little bit more fancy, and I got like a nice you know, hardback one. So I'll just give you like a quick rundown. So I've made, in the first page I've made like a pocket, and that's basically my note list from my WIP parade. So that has all of my projects and the amount of stitches I had, and I've got that, and that's like a reference point. And then basically what I've done is I have listed all of my WIPs, and then I'm just basically like adding, so as I start new ones I have a few pages that I've made to add to that. And then what I've done is I printed off a free printable calendar for the year. I printed it off and then just cut out each month. So I've done it so for each month I have that, and then basically I have a space for each day. Obviously I might not stitch every day, but I have a space for each day, and then obviously I've just been writing down which ones I've stitched on. and then crossed off the date at the front so I know that I've done it. And then I have a space to write all of my starts and finishes, but obviously I'll fill that out at like the end. And then I've left a couple of pages for each month so that I can write down, so all of the stats that I'm sharing I have on a piece of paper here. So what I'll do is I'll like copy that out here, and I can keep track of how many stitches I've been doing. And yeah, so I've just basically done the same thing for every month. They all have their own little title card. And then what I've done is when I've got to the end of June, I can turn the pages. So when I've got to the end of June, I've made a space for my mid-year WIP parade, and I have quite a few pages, and the idea is I will rewrite the list from the front of any that are still current, and obviously any new starts, and that's how I do that. And then I've done that all the way up to the end of the year, and then I have an end of year WIP parade, and there's still quite a few pages in that, so I could probably get a second year out of this notebook as well, and do, you know, perhaps a similar format. So yeah, so that one I think is one I got off Amazon. That's just a sticker I popped on there. Let me have a look. I think I kept the thing that it came as, and I decorated the inside cover. So yeah, so it's 200 pages, and it's an 80 GSM. It doesn't say the brand, but yeah, there's loads on Amazon anyway. So yeah, so that is my little cross-stitch journal notebook thing that I keep. So I'm interested if anyone else keeps one, and what kind of things do you put in it? Do you know, do the same sort of thing that I've just shown? So I'd be interested to know. Okay, so that is all of my stitching. It's a bit of a long one again, but that's okay. We always have to share all the things and give them all enough time. So I just wanted to give a quick mention to a new Flosstuber that I've discovered recently. So I think she has 2 videos out so far, so I just thought I'd give her a little shout out. So that is Stitching with Mel, and I will link her in my description so you can go and check her out if you're interested. So she is a full coverage stitcher, mostly I think. She's done a WIP parade so far, and she's done a regular update video, and she's got loads of cute projects. So yeah, so I wanted to just link her down below, and that's it from me, just an update, and hopefully I will be touching some of my other projects in the next 2 weeks, because now I've started all the things. We'll see what the wheel gives me. Once I put all these onto the wheel and spin it new, it'll probably give me one of these back. So yeah, so the only 2 that are probably focuses out of this pile that I've just shared is going to be Gracious Eras. That's pretty much a daily stitch really for me. And at the moment, the Mirror of Venus, the Haed cell, that is, I don't know if that will be through the whole year, but I would like to get, you know, at least the original plan, which was the page finish. So I'd like to at least get the page finish in the next few months, if I could. So yeah, so that's my plan. And yeah, I think that's it from me. So I will head off, get this sorted, get it up for you to give a watch. So I hope you've enjoyed your stitching while you've had this on, and enjoyed seeing the progress and the new starts / restarts. And I will be back soon with regular projects, hopefully, or these, I don't know. We'll have some projects. So happy stitching, everyone. Take care, and see you soon. Bye. Hi, I'm back again. I just remembered that I wanted to add a few things, so pop back on. So over Christmas, so on Christmas Day, I went for a little bit of a walk to a local park that we have here. So I just wanted to pop in a couple of photographs and a couple of little bits of video clip that I took of the ducks at the pond. I just thought it'd be nice to add some kind of wintry things, so I will pop those in here. Okay, and I also wanted to have a quick chat. I thought this would be something I'd stick at the end of the videos, and that way if people aren't interested they can, you know, just head over to the next Flosstube. So a little bit of life, kind of what I've been up to. So as you probably noticed, I have cut my hair. I do have naturally curly hair, and sometimes I try to straighten it and don't embrace the curl, and I'm trying this year to just embrace the curl and kind of have this, like, you know, messy kind of wolf cut, whatever we class it as. But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to keep it more natural, I guess. So yeah, so new hair. It has got a colour in it, but it's not very noticeable because I don't really like crazy colours. I just try and keep it a bit natural. So yeah, so that's that one. And a couple of things I've been watching, I thought I'd just give a mention to. So what I've been up to, like I said, I have obviously stitched a lot. So I've been watching a couple of series. So first one is something called The Bay, and I will pop up a picture just in case you're not familiar with it. So this is like a crime drama, murder mystery type thing. So it's on, in the UK it's on a channel called ITV, so I don't know if in other countries you will have access to that kind of thing. It's from a few years ago, so I've just watched season 1 so far. So I'm watching it via DVD. So yeah, so I've watched season 1, and I've got season 2 to start. I think there's like 5 series of it so far. So I've been watching that. I've enjoyed that. Obviously it can be a little dark because it's to do, well, series 1 is to do with missing teenagers, and one of them is found. I don't really feel like that's a spoiler because I'm pretty sure that was the first episode and that would have, you know, been promoted as such. But yeah, 2 teenagers go missing, one is found, passed away, and obviously, you know, it's been clearly a murder, so they have to investigate it, and it, you know, kind of it takes place in like a British seaside town, a little coastal town. So that was, you know, that was a good, I enjoyed that. And then the last few days I've also been watching a show called All Creatures Great and Small, and this is a new-ish show. I think it's had a few series. So in the UK it's on something called Channel 5. I have seen that it's on something called PBS, I think it is in America, but I've only just got around to watching it. So I'm still on series 1. Yeah, I'm about halfway. I think I've watched 4 episodes so far, so I'm really enjoying this. It's really fun. So if you like things like Downton Abbey, because I really enjoyed Downton Abbey, and all those kind of shows, then it's very light-hearted. It does have some serious bits so far, some emotional bits, but yeah, it's been quite a fun, wacky, you know, I like how the characters interact. It's really fun. So I'm hoping to catch up on that. As I said, I think there's like 5 or 6 series, because I'm watching series 1 on Netflix at the moment, because I think series 1 and 2 are on Netflix, and then I'll have to go to the 5 app and watch the rest, but I hate ads, so I'm not looking forward to watching all that with ads. But yeah, so I've not done any reading, which is bad, because as I said earlier, I had a book for Christmas and I really want to get to it. So hopefully in the next week or so I will start to get some reading done. So I want to also get back to a few other hobbies, so things like colouring. I love to do colouring books, and I've just got really out of sync with it all over the last year or so. So yeah, so that's a big thing that I want to get back to, and things like that. So hopefully I'll have some random bits and bobs to share at the end with you if this is something I continue doing. We'll see what I get up to. So yeah, so this time I am going. So thank you very much for watching. Happy stitching, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Bye.